Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNSFANS. Let's get to the news. All right, Browns fans, buckle up because there's some serious buzz around Deshaun Watson and his current status with the team. You know, we've been following Watson's journey since he arrived in Cleveland, and even though things haven't always gone as planned, there's still a lot of hope and high expectations. And right now, the buzz is about whether he's going to be back on the field anytime soon. We've seen him back in practice, which is a huge deal because that's the first step towards possibly seeing him in game action again. But the real question is, will he actually get activated before the season ends? And what does this mean for the Browns' playoff push? Because if Watson comes back healthy and sharp, it could be the spark that pushes this team over the top. But as always, there's a lot of uncertainty, and Browns fans, we're here to break down everything you need to know. So let's start from the top. Watson has been out since Week 7 of last season, battling back from a pretty severe Achilles injury. The injury, coupled with some ups and downs in his performance since joining Cleveland, has made everyone wonder if we'll ever see the true Watson we saw in Houston. Well, he's finally back to practicing with the team, and that alone is a positive sign. But if you've been paying attention, you know that Coach Kevin Stefanski hasn't exactly been throwing out guarantees. He's been pretty vague, keeping us all on edge. On December 15, Stefanski told reporters that Watson's progress is very, very good, especially on the field and in the classroom. That's promising, no doubt. But he also made it clear that Watson's return isn't a done deal. I would say not my focus. For right now, Stefanski said, which basically means they're taking it one day at a time. It's a cautious approach, and Browns fans, that's smart. You don't want to rush Watson back and risk further injury or setbacks. The Browns have set a 21-day window for Watson's return, which is a standard NFL procedure when a player is coming back from PUP list. They have until December 24 to make a call, activate him and get him on the field, or keep him sidelined for the rest of the season. And honestly, that's a huge decision. Because if Watson does get activated, it could give the Browns a serious boost for the stretch run, especially with the playoffs getting closer every week. But if he doesn't, then we're probably looking at another season where we don't see the full potential of our franchise quarterback. The financial implications are also part of the story. Watson has one more year on his 5-year, $230 million deal, and cutting him now wouldn't be cheap for the Browns. It's more feasible for Cleveland to keep him around, even if they consider drafting a quarterback early next year in the 2026 draft. That's the kind of strategic planning that could shape this franchise for years. Now, what's interesting is the way Watson has been handling his rehab and practice time. Browns QB coach Bill Musgrave has been praising him, saying that Watson has been doing more out there on the practice field each day. That's a good sign. Musgrave also added that Watson has been working well with the young guys like Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, helping them develop and learn the game. That kind of leadership and presence is what we want from a quarterback of Watson's caliber. Plus, he's been working with Joe Flacco, who was traded earlier this season, and he's been running the scout team, basically simulating what the other team's offense looks like so the defense gets good reps. Musgrave described it as like having a meeting on our feet, which is a clever way of putting it. It's not just practice for Watson, but also a way for him to stay sharp mentally and keep his rhythm, even if he's not fully cleared for game action yet. And let's be honest, Browns fans, Watson's impact on this team goes beyond just his play. His presence in practice and around the locker room provides leadership, confidence, and a sense of stability. That's something we've been missing at times this season. The Browns have a talented roster, and it's clear that with Watson's skill set, this team can be dangerous. His ability to extend plays, make difficult throws, and keep defenses honest is unmatched when he's at his best. That's why the coaching staff is so eager to get him back, because they know that if he's healthy, he can be the difference maker we need to secure a playoff spot and make a deep run. Of course, we can't ignore the elephant in the room, the injury. Achilles injuries are tough, and coming back from one takes patience and careful rehab. But Watson's work ethic and determination are well known in the league. The Browns are doing everything they can to ensure he's ready, and the fact that he's been practicing regularly suggests he's on the right track. Still, the decision to activate him will depend on how he looks in these final days of practice, how he responds to contact, and whether the coaching staff feels confident in his health and readiness. Looking ahead, Browns fans, the whole situation has a ripple effect on the team's future. If Watson does come back and performs at a high level, it could solidify his place as our franchise QB for the next few years. That would give us a real shot at contending for a Super Bowl, especially with the core talent we have on offense and defense. But if he's not ready, or if the injury lingers, we might have to lean more on our other weapons and hope the young guys continue to develop. Either way, it's clear that the Browns are in a pivotal moment. The next couple of weeks will tell us everything we need to know about whether Watson can lead us to the promised land this season. Now, Browns fans, it's worth noting that Watson's impact has already been felt, even without him on the field. Coach Musgrave mentioning that Watson has been doing more each day and that he's been a positive influence behind the scenes is huge. It's not just about throwing passes or running drills. It's about the leadership, the confidence, and the mental edge that Watson brings. That's what makes this situation so intriguing. Because if he returns fully healthy and confident, the Browns could become one of the scariest teams in the AFC. But patience is key. No one wants to see him rush back and risk further injury, especially when the playoffs are within reach. And finally, Browns fans, let's talk about the bigger picture. This season has had its ups and downs, no doubt. The team's been battling injuries, inconsistency, and some tough losses. But there's a real sense that we're on the cusp of something special. With Watson's potential return, the team could find that extra gear needed to push us into serious playoff contention. It's about making the right call at the right time. And I believe that, with the right approach, the Browns can still make some noise this year. We've seen flashes of brilliance from our young weapons, and if Watson can come back and play at his peak, we might just see the team that can challenge anyone in the AFC. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So Browns fans, what do you think? Are you feeling optimistic about Watson's return? Do you believe he's the missing piece that can lift us to new heights? Or are you a little cautious, waiting to see how he looks in these final practices? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion really matters. We're all in this together, and the passion of Browns Nation is what keeps us going each week. Remember, this season isn't over yet, and there's still plenty of football to be played. The AFC North is tough, but with a healthy Watson, we could turn the tide in our favor. Stay tuned for more updates because I'll be back soon with the latest on Deshaun Watson, the Browns, roster moves, and what's next for our team. Cleveland Browns fans, let's keep the faith and stay loud because the best is yet to come.